To our last segment of the discussion in terms of the topic of discussion. We are 28 minutes to the top of the hour, and I'm still here with Molindwa Matovu from the Planning and Projects at the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, and we're discussing the roadmap of the roadmap of Uganda Bureau of Statistics in response and in the journey of the parish development model in Uganda. Now we want to look at how what is UBOS's plan in regards to making sure that the parish development model is implemented. Mr. Matovu, I would want now to get to understand what are some of the public concerns and the questions that most of the Ugandans have been able to approach the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, or which questions have you been able to receive in response to the parish development model?
Thank you so much, Joram, and dear viewers. I should say that, like I said before, we have received quite encouraging support, especially from the people that we have interacted with so far. Okay. And we are saying that, and we are hopeful that at the end of the day, it will be a success. And I should say that Wanajoramu, some of the questions that we have, like you also started by asking us, how are you going to disburse the funds and so on. And I clearly stated that that is not the role of UBOS. What we are mandated to is to provide the accurate and reliable data, and we are doing this in a very impartial manner. And I also call upon our viewers that let you always receive the teams from UBOS with the utmost confidence, because the data that you always give us is always treated with the highest levels of confidentiality that it requires, because we are required by the UN fundamental principles of statistics to always keep the data that is provided to us by our respondents as much confidential as possible, and we endeavor to do that by ensuring that whatever the data that we are to share out is in aggregated form, is synchronized, is so that we don't share the individual records or individual entries of our respondents, be it at establishment level or enterprise level or at household level. So I should assure and allay the fears of our viewers that the data that you give us is for no other purpose other than for planning and policy direction. And so we still appeal to you, and shall always do that. You always receive our teams with the enthusiasm and the cooperation.
Okay, now let's also focus now on the public appeal in regards to this particular program from the Uganda Bureau of Statistics.
Well, I should appeal to our viewers and everyone who is viewing us, and those that are listening in, maybe, to ensure that we give maximum cooperation and try to give in time towards the parish development model activities, not only the ones that we are involved in, especially the current the ongoing exercise of the baseline data collection, but all the other subsequent activities for the PDM, because at the end of the day, we all wish that Ugandans jump out of the subsistence economy, and it is through these interventions that the government is putting in place that we wish that everyone jumps out of the subsistence economy. So let's embrace the government activities and the projects so that we are able to assist each other, including those that are mooted by the non-state actors, the private sector and the civil society organizations.
Okay, and now the journey of the parish development model will take center stage for quite a time. And I would want Mr. Matov to at least as well try to break down for us lastly, in regard, before you give in your final remarks, I would at least want you to give us a simple projection. I do believe now you come from the Department of Projects and Planning. So after, where do you see this going?
Thank you so much, Mr. Sonko, and dear viewers. I should say that this parish development model is it's a model that is anchored on, of course, the other development frameworks of Uganda. We have the NDP3 currently. So this parish development model feeds directly into what? Into the NDP3. Okay. And of course, the NDP3, like you know, it feeds directly into the what? Into the vision for Uganda, which is the Vision 2040. So they are not detached. And so for as long as we still have the Vision 2040, we have the various series of the NDPs, then we shall have the parish development model, and I'm sure that by the time we come to 2040, it will be a totally different story. And I should say that even those that could have doubted its functionality and the operationalization would have believed that, oh, some things can actually work. And this is what the parish development model is destined to.
Okay, and I hope my people from Buyukwe are going to benefit from this one. My people from Naja, people from Buyukwe, have got some of my grannies in Jinja. I hope they will as well be benefiting from almost everything here. And also those from Kisoro. I'm a man from various areas lately, and I hope people can get to receive and benefit from this as well. Someone has just told me, my producer has reminded me that he hopes that people from Fort Portal can as well benefit from the parish development model. 17 million Ugandan shillings will be in there for people to at least get them through their parishes. And we've been breaking down for you the roadmap of the Uganda Bureau of Statistics. They started the trainings and they already are into the implementation process. Their part of implementation is to ensure that they get the data and give out the data to the government to ensure the smooth flow of money that is being dispatched into that particular one. All right, now let's also get to the questions expected by the public or the viewers out there, and I want Mr. Matov to at least also give us more of that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Songo, and dear viewers, like I said, that these are not these are usual things, these are usual questions that we have always interacted with, and like I said in the beginning, that we have two modules that we shall be implementing. In this case, we have the household-based module, which shall be asked by the household heads or the knowledgeable people in the household, and the community module, which shall be asked by the community, the opinion leaders, where it will be administered to the community leaders, and that will be at the LC1 level. And so, for in terms of the one at household level, we expect questions like about the members in the household, all the members in the household, both the usual and the regular members. And in this case, it is not as easy as you hear it, but our data collectors have been prepared and trained on how to differentiate between the usual and the regular members. So we shall have questions on household assets, that is the ownership of a mobile phone, TV, motorcycle, and so on. Of course, all of these are geared towards knowing how economically stable the households are, and what interventions can be done for that matter. Okay. Then we have the ownership of financial accounts and the membership to these other financial institutions, and that relates directly to the third pillar of the PDM, that is the financial inclusion pillar. So we have also the ownership of business enterprises by type. So we want to know if there are any household-based enterprises at the household. Then we have the housing conditions fun it could be, but we need to know the type of roof on your house. We need to know the type of floor that you have. We need to know the toilet facilities and so on. So these are some of the household level questions that we shall be asking Bwana Sonko. Okay. Then of course lastly we shall be having the questions where we have questions regarding access to basic services, access to water, access to social services like schools and hospitals, and of course the corresponding distance that there is for you to get to the nearest school. Then we shall have the existence of, for example, money lending services in the village. Then we shall have agricultural produce. Okay, agricultural produce markets, are they there? If people have a very big, large production, we have markets where we can market, where we can put our products. Of course, that feeds directly into the first pillar of the PDM, which is about production, storage, processing, and marketing of the agricultural produce. Then, of course, we shall be having things like the road networks, that is the social infrastructure. Okay, then there are things like existence of clinics, pharmacies, and hospitals. So these are some of the general questions, and of course we need also to know about water for production, because if we are talking about commercializing agriculture, then water is key in this. Otherwise we cannot talk about commercialization of agriculture, and we are still talking about what? About rain-fed agriculture. So we need to know the existence of things like water for production and so on. Then of course, lastly but not least, we shall talk about at community level, we need to know about the existence of environmental vagaries. That is if the village is affected by disasters and so on, things like floods, things like hailstones and so on. Okay. Then of course, lastly on this module, there is a new emergence of a vice, I should say, the one of domestic violence. Okay. We also need to explore and see if the community at village level, there are cases of domestic violence. Is it being experienced, or it is at minimum, so that the non-state actors can take the necessary action and remedies to make sure that they address the vice.
I need to know, on the issue of the domestic violence, once the cases are high, should we say then those people won't be receiving the money, or they will be facing some, because in the context of the parish development model?
Because when we are collecting data, Mr. Sonko,
you want all the information.
We want all the information, so that even the non-state actors, we have a number of NGOs that are ensuring that we have a violent, free society. So if an NGO comes to us, we are a custodian of data, and say that you collected data during PDM. Did you collect anything on violence? Then we have the data available, and we tell them this is the state of violence in this region, and this is the state of violence in this region. And in that case, or in that manner, they are able also to make necessary interventions and ensure that we have a relatively stable community and a prosperous one.
Okay. And Mr. Mlindwa, I would want to say I've at least got something here. I hope the viewer out there has also tried to understand the part that the Uganda Bureau of Statistics is going to play in regards to the parish development model. Now, lastly, 2 minutes of your final remarks in regards to, one, the parish development model, and any other projections, one in terms of our current inflation. I would want you to mention something about that. And also, anything to expect from the Uganda Bureau of Statistics.
Thank you so much, presenter, and the viewers at large. I should say that for now we are satisfied with the progress, and we call upon the other districts that are yet to catch up with the pace data, in terms of data collection and training, to ensure that we cooperate. I call upon the various accounting officers at the districts and the higher local governments, the municipalities and the cities, to ensure that we accord this exercise the due attention it requires. Otherwise, we don't want to blame each other. This is not a blame game, but we want to ensure that we assist each other in order to move out of the subsistence economy. And of course, you did request me to say something about inflation, but I should say that these are sometimes it's an economic situation that does occur. But what I can appeal to the public again, like it has always been like we have always appealed, is let people buy things that they only need. Okay, let's not buy because I might need this when you are kind of anticipating usage. Let's buy something that we actually need, so that we are able to avoid those unnecessary kind of buying stuff. Okay, Mr. Matov, lastly, I have a viewer from Kaberamaido who needs to know whether this information determines the money that they are going to receive. Thank you so much. Of course, the money that is going that they are going to receive, it is a key ingredient. Okay. In determining how much, because at the end of the day, we need to know how many circles are in, for example, Kaberamaido. Okay. And in that, if all the circles have been captured within the PDMIS, then it is one of the ways of validating. Otherwise, when we depend on the lists that are coming from districts, they are not verified, and so you have to first verify from the circles. They can be verified from the circles, and they have to be captured within the what? Within the data that we are collecting, apparently. Okay, and I hope you've got your answers there. Your answers have been pursued in regards to the parish development model. And many thanks for joining us this morning, Mr. Matovu Mulindwa. Thank you, Mr. Sonko. From the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, from the Department of Projects and Planning. Sure. Yes. And of course, at this particular moment, we are done with our topic of discussion today, but we are still coming back with our third hour of the show. But before the break, let's first get into this particular report in regards to the national budget. After the break, meanwhile, I will be having the